World Tenz. Top 10 most safest cities all over the world for women. According to the reports, 84% of solo travelers are women. To meet their needs, a study was conducted to find out the safest places for this population of vacationers. While there may be some destinations that are safer than others, the world is not as scary as some might think. With a positive attitude and general street smarts, there are plenty of solo trips around the world where you can feel safe and secure on your own. However, if I could have known then what I knew now, there are some cities I would have avoided and others I would have visited sooner. Below is a comprehensive list of the safest cities for female solo travelers, where I have felt most comfortable and enjoyed every minute of my time in. Switzerland as a whole is one of the safest countries to travel to solo, but Zurich is the city that captured my heart most. Just big enough to remain interesting for a few days but with a small village feel, the city is full of winding alleyways and postcard-worthy views. For an authentic experience, consider renting an apartment with a balcony for a few nights and spend your days meandering the city's many pockets. Discover the best day trips, as well as tips on cultural highlights, sightseeing attractions and things to do in the city of Zurich and surrounding region. Vancouver City, southwestern British Columbia, Canada. It is the major urban centre of Western Canada and the focus of one of the country's most populous metropolitan regions. Vancouver is the kind of city you imagine yourself living in just hours into your visit. The city has a casual vibe to rival Melbourne but with a more outdoorsy feel thanks to Stanley Park bustling with runners, walkers and cyclists in even the worst weather. This is one of the best cities for female solo travelers who love to be more active on their escapes. Bruges is absolutely worth adding to your Belgium itinerary for many reasons. From its sheer beauty to its history to its opportunities for people watching, beer indulging, and museum seeing, Bruges is a great place to stop. The best time to visit Bruges is from June to August, when the weather is mild, and the trees are green. Still, the weather year-round is characterized as chilly and damp. Summer temps usually don't climb higher than the 70s. Bruges named one of 50 most beautiful cities by travel experts. Stockholm is a great city, and very worth visiting. But make sure you realize how much it's going to cost you before you arrive so you're prepared in advance. You could easily spend 3-4 days in Stockholm before venturing off further into Sweden, as this is easily one of the safest countries to travel in and really easy to get. Aside from being one of the happiest countries in the world, Sweden is also considered to be safer than many other nations. While it faces the same risks as any other country in Europe, most travelers report that they feel incredibly safe while in Sweden. Kyoto is one of the safest places on earth for solo women travelers. However, you should still use your common sense and avoid potentially dangerous situations. There are a few women's-only accommodations in Kyoto. There are women-only train cars on commuter trains in Kyoto. Inside Kyoto is an online Kyoto travel guide. Complete Kyoto itineraries and coverage of essential attractions in each of Kyoto's fascinating districts. It's the cultural and historical heart of the country. It's the best place in all Japan to experience traditional temples, shrines, gardens, geisha, shops, restaurants and festivals. Yes, Lisbon is worth visiting, but be prepared for lots of other people to think so too. I learned a thing or two about what to do in Lisbon, what not to miss, what Lisbon is known for and some awesome stuff about the city and Portugal as a whole while I was there. As long as you take the precautions you would in any city around the world, Lisbon is a safe city for solo female travelers. And if you haven't traveled on your own before, this would be a great place to start. It's got everything: an impressive historical legacy, beautiful views, spectacular beaches, cultural attractions and, of course, incredible cuisine. Budapest is perfectly safe for solo female travelers, whether during the day, when visiting the city's many rich historical sites, or at night, when sampling great nightlife and wonderful restaurants. It's a beautiful city, the people are friendly, there is plenty to see and do, the bars and restaurants are great. The cost is very reasonable compared to other city breaks I've had, plus they have the fantastic thermal baths to go to. Budapest has become a mandatory stopover on any traveler's European itinerary. Hong Kong is regarded as one of the safest cities in the world. With low crime rates, well-maintained infrastructure and roadways, and well-trained police and medical services, you shouldn't have much to worry about. As a solo female traveler, I never felt scared while moving about the city even at night. Just keep an eye on your belongings whilst you're wandering in the city. Signs are usually written in traditional Chinese and English as they are both the official languages. Locals usually speak Cantonese and English. London is one of the safest cities in the world for lone female travelers. London is a safe Western European city where it is safe to travel for everyone. People are cold and don't bother in others' affairs. As usual, there are areas which someone would generally recommend to avoid, but unless going to look for trouble, one will not find any trouble. London is generally a very safe place to navigate, even at night, though it never hurts to keep your common sense and your wits about you. The vast majority of New York City is safe for women traveling alone. The important thing is that you stay close to the subway, because that will take you around the city just fine. I believe that with the proper research and preparation, almost anywhere in the world can be safely traveled by a woman on her own. And that goes for New York, too. Millions of women from around the world call New York their home, millions more women visit each year, many of them solo. That wouldn't be the case if it were too dangerous for women on their own.